It's quiet here on Carroll Avenue in St. Paul, where Monday St. Paul police came out for reports of someone overdosing, one of 3 fatal incidents in a little more than 3 hours. But since then,
So over the last 48 hours, we've actually had 5 overdose deaths.
Justin Tiffany with the St. Paul Police Department's Community Outreach and Stabilization Unit spearheads the department's Recovery Access Program. The unit recently refurbished a bus to provide chemical dependency, mental health, and housing support for those in need.
Anybody that's experienced an overdose and we're aware of their location and we're able to make contact with them, then we go out to the location and we offer services through our licensed alcohol and drug counselor.
So far this year, there were more than 30 overdose deaths in St. Paul, a number that is on the rise.
And then from 2019, there were 46 suspected fatal overdoses. And so from 2019 to 2020, there was approximately a 78% increase, and we're looking to increase that number even running through 2021 is the projection that it'll be significantly higher even in 2021.
Narcan is used frequently to save lives, with members of the mobile unit connecting people with recovery resources.
We respond to overdose follow-ups. So after an overdose has occurred, we offer resources to the family members and the people who experienced overdoses.
While the recent overdoses are a part of a disturbing trend, they're working daily to get people to the support they need. In St. Paul, Charmaine Nero, KARE 11 News.
If you or someone you know is in need of help, we have included resources on our website at KARE11.com.